Welcome to Kdrama Divas, a podcast and community for passionate fans of Korean dramas. Join us as we explore the captivating world of K-dramas, discussing the latest releases, timeless classics, and everything in between. Whether you're a seasoned K-drama addict or just stepping into this addictive realm, get ready to laugh, cry, and fangirl with the Kdrama Divas. Greetings from your K-Drama Divas, and welcome to our podcast. My name's Amanda, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host.
Hi, I'm Serena.
I'm Maureen.
And we're your K-Drama Divas. Today we will be discussing Business Proposal, a 12-episode romantic comedy that was released in early 2022. But before we dive into our discussion, what's been going on? Are you guys watching any new dramas? What's happening?
I just finished my happy ending, and it really was just so-so. The first half I was really excited about. I thought this is going to be a great drama, but it turned out,
The storyline, the
Yes.
people, the music.
the storyline.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if they rushed it or whatever, but the one evil person in it, the evil woman, did not really get her comeuppance or whatever you want to say. She really deserved to be punished, and we deserved to see it. But it's like nothing was ever done about that.
It sounds like you didn't get the justice that you were craving.
Right.
They didn't
Right.
finish the story off.
Right.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
good revenge.
Yeah.
Like
No.
revenge stories where they really
Right.
get theirs.
Right.
Now I'm rewatching some favorites like What's Wrong with Secretary Kim and Another Miss O. I just have to.
That way we're ready. You're ready when it's time to review those, right?
Yeah.
Take your notes. Well, I just finished Flower Crew Josian Marriage Agency, which was released in 2019. And I really enjoyed it and was pretty hooked from the start. I have to say, first time I watched the first episode, I watched it in the middle of the night, so I think I wasn't catching it all, but then when I went back to it, I got into it more. But it's the classic love triangle story,
Oh, of course.
and your heart is torn. There's the main gal, two guys, and your heart is torn between both of the men who are vying for her because both of them have great qualities and bring something different. I would suggest watching it,
Wow.
but I certainly have my opinion on who I think she should ultimately end with, but I will not divulge any of that. Kind of like Boys Over Flowers. That's what it kind of reminded me of, is you love both of them for different reasons, and you could see her with both. So
Oh, that's a struggle. That's
Yeah.
a struggle.
it's a total struggle.
Boys Over Flowers had me till the very end. Like
Yes.
I would go
Yes.
back and forth.
Yes,
Back and forth.
that's how this was.
Oh,
You have to watch it
okay, I'm really
if you want a good
curious.
love triangle.
I do. Korean dramas have made me love triangles. They're so much fun.
What are you watching?
I don't know if I'm happy or sad that I started it, but I'm watching Dr. Slump, and it's currently running. That's why I don't know if I'm happy or sad,
Is
because
it hard?
I caught up, and so now
You have to wait.
I hate waiting. I like that instant gratification,
Yeah.
and
That's why I don't do that.
I know, I know, but sometimes it's so fun to like be in the moment with everyone else that's watching it and suffering, waiting for the next episode.
You don't know who's watching and suffering with you. You're all alone on your own little island.
Yeah. But we should watch one together like that and suffer together and
We're
then
doing
talk
that
about
with
it.
Captivating the King right now, but the
Mm.
finale is this weekend.
Oh.
So,
Oh, so you'll be
That's one we should probably watch at some point.
oh, definitely.
Okay. What else did you have to say about Dr. Slump? We kind of cut you off.
well, no, you didn't. You're fine. The male lead and female male lead and female lead are super cute. And the female lead was I think she was in Inheritors
Oh,
and in Flower Boy Next Door. I don't know if you've ever seen
I
that
haven't
one.
seen that one.
I don't recall seeing her in anything else. I'm sure she's been in other things, but I like her. And then the male lead was in Strong Woman, Dubong.
No,
Dubong
strong girl.
Strong girl.
Oh, it gets confusing. All the strong.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know.
Oh,
The
well.
one from 2017.
It says strong girl, so we'll go with that.
We'll go with strong girl. A strong girl. So, anyway, the male lead was in Strong Girl Dubong, and he's so adorable. He's so cute. He was cute in that drama, but
Yeah.
he's so cute in this drama too.
Well,
I
he's
think
absolutely cute anyway. Park Hung-suk, I think his name.
I don't know what his real name is, but I think
Part of the Wooga Squad.
okay.
No.
Wooga Squad.
Woogaswad. You'll have to explain that at some point in time. We'll have to do a definition
Yes.
episode.
Because I'm sure you'll be saying Wooga Squad a lot, right?
Possibly.
Yes. It's really cute, and they're both doctors who are struggling in life, having some mental health issues, and it's really interesting how they address that and just how they're supporting one another. It's super cute, and maybe give it a try. So,
I'll put it on my watch list.
but now I have to watch something new
Right.
while I wait for the next episode.
Well, you could watch Flower Crew.
I could.
So we're going to watch it together.
Ooh, maybe we should.
But we have to finish Hyena first.
That's
Yeah,
what we
so
do.
it might be a while.
The three of us get together and we'll watch a K-drama together, except
It can be weeks before we watch the next 2 or 3 together.
Hyena has taken us a really long time, probably 2 months, and we're halfway through.
Right.
But we love it. We love our drama time. Let's jump into our discussion about Business Proposal. For those of you who haven't seen Business Proposal, stop what you're doing and go watch it, and then come back and listen to our podcast.
We don't want to do any spoilers, right?
Right. But, if you like spoilers, you can listen, and hopefully we won't spoil too much for you.
Business Proposal stars Ann Hyosop, who plays President Kang Tae-moo, the president of Go Foods. Ann Hyosop has previously been in Dr. Romantic and A Time Called You. The female lead in Business Proposal is Kim Se-jong, who plays food researcher Shin Hari. She was in Uncanny Counter and is known for more of her singing and K-pop career.
Business Proposal, this is how I think of it. It's basically a story about a blind date gone wrong. Really wrong. A lot more to it. But
And right.
yes, and right. Definitely right in the end. Due to a series of unfortunate events, Shin Hari poses as her best friend on a blind date. Her friend hates blind dates and doesn't believe in arranged marriages. She basically convinces Hari to go on a blind date in her place and requests that she sabotages it. And she thinks, then I won't be forced to go on any more blind dates in the future. And Hari has done this for her in the past, and it was very successful. She'd pretend like she was possessed, demon possessed, or something by a ghost,
Right.
and funny flashbacks on that. But Hari agrees. And imagine her surprise when her blind date is none other than President Kang Tae-moo, the president of the company where she works. And further shock when her whole plan to sabotage the date is foiled because President Kang wants to see her again with marriage in mind. He always says that. I want to date you with marriage in mind.
He wants to be upfront from the get-go what
Yes,
the plan is.
Yeah. He's very direct, all business.
Yes.
He doesn't like to waste time. He's like, if I'm forced to go on blind dates
And get married.
might as well be the first woman I meet.
Right.
Although I think he really did fall for her.
Yes. The first time they met, definitely.
It wasn't like any
Yes.
other.
Right. There
Right.
was some kind of an attraction on some
Yeah.
level there.
Yeah.
And I think he was aware of that. He just wasn't going to go there yet.
Right. Agreed. Absolutely.
Hari's best friend is Jin Young So, played by Sol In On. She had a role in Strong Woman Bong Soon and was most recently in Celebrity and Twinkling Watermelon. Her love interest in Business Proposal is President Kang's best friend and chief secretary, Cha Sung-hoon, played by Kim Min-koo. He is in one of our favorites, Because This Is My First Life. He has been in Because This Is My First Life and a ton of other K-dramas. It's just that I cannot think of them right now. He has been in them.
Your K-drama encyclopedia brain fails you.
Yes.
Yes.
Just because we're live, so your brain is freezing.
I was surprised because I learned that he was in Because This Is My First Life, and I don't remember him in it. And then I realized he was the guy at the cafe. And because it was the first drama we watched, I think my brain was so overwhelmed. You know, her love interest, or not love interest,
No.
but like he kind of flirts with her and he works at the cafe and
I don't remember. I
See,
need to look at
we
it.
have to watch it again.
Remember he rides the motorcycle?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh. Nuh-uh. Really? Now I really have to watch it. Some people like him.
Yes.
Wow.
In every drama I watch, I have to pause it 10 times the first episode going, who's that? What have they been in? Who's
Right.
that? What have they been in?
Because you know you've seen them somewhere, but you can't place. And because in each one they look so different.
Mhm.
Even within the same one, they look so different.
Mhm.
So
Which we will talk about today.
awesome.
What were your first impressions of this drama? That's what I'm wondering. I can start with mine, but I want to hear about yours. Even though I really enjoyed it and thought it was fun, I was super confused at first. Like we were just talking about, people look so different in each
Mhm.
drama. When Hari poses as her best friend and puts on the wig and all the makeup, to me, she looks like a completely different person.
Mhm.
And it confuses me not so much every time, but I don't know how many times I've seen this drama, but it took me a while to figure out. Like I would stare at her going, is that really Hari? It doesn't look like her.
Yeah.
And I know I might sound crazy, but I felt confused each time. And if it confuses me, why is this a drama I always recommend to people to watch first?
Probably because you like the storyline so much, right?
Yeah.
It's a great storyline.
It is a great story. It is. But it's so confusing when you're new into this whole world,
Right.
in my opinion.
Right. I totally agree. It was confusing the first time I watched it, but I think the second time it was because I knew it was going on, it was much easier to realize that she was those different people. And it was the first drama that Amanda and Maureen introduced me to, but because of the storyline, it kept me hooked and intrigued. And you just can't imagine where the story's going to go because there's so many twists and turns, which I know personally we've talked about before. Is that I think that's kind of what draws us in is all of the twists and turns, and you can't you think you know where it's going, but then it never ends up going that way. And I love the fact that President Kang knew, as we talked about just a second ago, that he knew he was drawn to Hari from the get-go, no matter which of the three people she was being at the moment. There was just always something that really drew him to her. So I like that.
Me too. Me
Mhm.
too.
I really wasn't confused with her. I knew it was her all along. But I don't know. I really wasn't confused.
You're better than us.
You baby.
I really wasn't confused. But I loved it had me laughing out loud. It really did
Yeah.
because there's so many funny scenes in it.
Right.
It is so funny at times.
What's your
That's true.
where's a funny moment you can think about top of your head?
Okay, when she is coming back from seeing Minwoo, who is her crush of 7 years, and her coworker together.
Mhm.
She thinks, "Oh my gosh, are they having a fling?" Because she hear her coworker is saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go meet my fling
Right.
now," and it turns out to be him. And so she's a little concerned, and she's thinking, "What? They're together?" And so she's coming back, and I don't know if she trips or something, and her slipper goes flying through the air. President Kang had just stepped off of the elevator, I think,
Right.
and it hits him in the face. And it's like the way they have it. They show his head. He gets a bloody nose from it, and she is so
Mortified.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
She is mortified.
She is, and they exchange glances too, so he
Yeah.
knows it's her that
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
And so she takes off running, and he follows her.
It's a funny chase scene.
Oh
It
Yeah.
really is.
gosh,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I mean, they zigzag through the whole
Building.
building,
You
and
realize how large the company really
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're
they're going
the big pursuit.
upstairs. And
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
The one of the funny parts that I really liked is that when I think he kind of was putting two and two together, and so he asked her to meet him for coffee at lunch. And so he's like, "Where do you work?" And she named some city that obviously was not real
Mhm.
convenient and close by. And he's like, "Okay, what cafe do you want to meet at?" So she obviously looked one up and gave him one so that as she's running there and she gets there, he's already there, but it's a kids' play area with a coffee center in it, I guess you'd say. And so he's like questioning why that's her favorite place to have coffee. And then as he's kind of questioning her, some little kid walks up and calls her mom. And the look on his face was hilarious. So I always think of that when I think about the funny parts.
That is so funny. And you know what? She says, Hari, when he asks her,
Hmm.
kind of questions her why here,
Right.
she says, I really like the vibe
Right.
here. Really like the vibe here. The look of shock on his
Right.
face.
Right.
It's so funny.
How do you get out
So
of that
funny.
one?
You can't. You can't. And she just keeps going with it. She's so silly. So
She's good at just playing and being on top of it. And no matter what he throws at her or she throws back at him, they both are just on their game on both
Mhm.
sides.
And because she's kind of hiding her true identity
Yeah.
throughout the first half of the drama, just her physical comedy,
Yes.
she's so good at that. And
That's
like
true.
she'll drop to the ground, she covers half her face with her hair, and just the reaction she has. I think she's a really fun actress. I don't really know.
Right. I hadn't thought about that, but it's true. And
Yeah.
then that just makes me think of the whole both bathroom scenes.
Yes.
The first one first. I mean, that was
Yes.
hilarious and had some really good physical comedy in it too.
Yes. Oh, talk about that. I don't think that I made a note of that. That is actually one of my favorite parts.
Right. You tell me if
Um,
it's one of your favorites.
It's so funny. So they have some really comical bathroom scenes in this
Right.
in this drama. Bathroom scenes usually aren't really my cup of tea, but they're so funny.
And then there's another bathroom scene. Remember when her friend and his friend, he picks
Oh,
her up along the
yes,
side of the road and he
yes.
has to go to the bathroom. So bad, but
Yes.
she won't tell him.
Yes.
So there goes another bathroom scene.
Well, that's one of the ones I thought you were talking about
No, there's the one out in the field. The
Yes.
first
but-
one with
with the chairman.
the
Yes, with
chairman.
the chairman.
Then there's the one with the friend, and then there's the second one with her in the bathroom when the chairman has to go to the bathroom
Oh,
again.
Yes, and her shoe is in there.
Her
so-
her new shoe,
New shoe.
her new
Yes.
pretty shoe.
And I
is
was
there.
thinking, they didn't have her wear her work slippers for that
Right,
scene.
right.
They had her wearing the
Yes.
shoes that he
So-
sent her.
So President King knew.
Mom, you don't think it's confusing at all. Clearly,
No.
because we just got into a debate about this week, you and I. We did. Because you recommended that your sister, my aunt, watch
Mhm.
Business Proposal, and I said, no, don't have her watch Business Proposal. It's too confusing as your first K-drama.
I don't find it confusing.
Sigh of disbelief right there.
But your Aunt Cheryl started watching it at one point, then kind of stopped, but then she picked it back up recently, and now she's enjoying it, right?
I don't know.
We hope so.
What
She
is-
should be. But she said that they were going to watch more of it. They watched a couple episodes, I hope.
Well, you
Yes.
better check it with her.
Yes, I do
Okay,
need to.
listeners out there, if any of you want to comment, what do you think? If this was your very first K drama, would you be a little confused?
Right.
Who's right? Am I right or is Maureen right? Amanda versus Maureen. And Serena, are you in the middle?
I'm Switzerland.
Actually, I think you're in my boat. You said it was a little
Well,
confusing.
it was.
Watched it with us so we
Right.
could explain things.
Yes.
But
Yes. And I think I asked a lot of questions.
Serena, because this was your first drama, tell us some of the things that you noticed or some of the things that fascinated you about the drama.
Well, a couple things are that they in not only in this drama but in a lot of them I've noticed that they have seaweed soup for their birthday. That seems to be a common thing and I never understood where that came from.
Pregnant, pregnant women have seaweed soup. I guess the nutrients in it help.
Well, yeah, I think that's right because I was watching some cooking show recently
Oh,
in the last 2 weeks, and they were teaching how to make seaweed soup. I didn't take notes, so you won't be getting.
Ah,
we could have added it to the comments.
Yeah. So she said, maybe I could find it again and look it up. I'll try. But so she was saying that seaweed soup is the typical thing that pregnant women will eat when because it contains all the nutrients that the baby needs and all the nutrients they need.
Interesting.
And so that's why traditionally on your birthday you have seaweed soup. I don't know. I mean, this is from one video.
Right, right. But it kind of makes you, I've never had seaweed soup. I don't think that seaweed would be something that I would order on a menu, but maybe we need to give it a try
mm-hmm.
just so we can see.
I wish it was on a menu that of a place that we.
Maybe that new Korean restaurant
Yes,
opened up. Maybe they would
maybe.
have it.
We're
Yes.
very excited because here in beautiful Vancouver, Washington, they just opened a new Korean restaurant finally.
Not a barbecue, a regular restaurant.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try it. We'll have to try it out and see.
We'll inquire.
Yes.
There are a few Korean restaurants around, but we always get excited when there's a new one.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
There are, but they're mostly Korean barbecue. You could drive to Portland,
Right.
and I'm sure there's a lot more options, but who wants to drive to Portland?
Right.
No offense, Portland. You're a great place to visit.
Or work.
Or work. Yes, some of us work there.
Another point that I had was I found it interesting, and we're kind of just talking about the first part of the drama, but is the fact that whatever's going on, whether there's an injury, an accident, or whatever it is everybody expects to be paid on the spot. Going to the hospital, I mean, no matter what you do, they want you to pay on the spot. So, one, do they not have insurance? I don't know.
I don't know either.
And two, I mean, does everybody have enough money to just pay? Other than my third point was how this kind of whole scenario started with Hari having to step in for the friend and then having to
Mm-hmm.
be somebody for the president as well. I won't go into details, but because of the brother and her kind of getting in a fight with the people with the company across the street and causing a little damage to a sign, he expected 800,000 won basically on the spot, which is interesting because US dollars, that's about 600 US dollars. But it just fascinates me that they expected I know in some of them they talk about debit accounts, how their account is, I forget what they call it, but it just seems like if they go negative, it's not a big deal. They just have to pay it back. So I need to look into that a little more.
I also find it interesting how they're always giving out their bank account
Yeah.
information to people so that
Right.
they can be paid. It's like, gosh, should you be giving out your account number to people? But they do it
Yeah.
all the time.
Even to strangers.
Yes, here's my account number. Pay me, whatever. And
Right.
so
Right.
I wonder if that's just in drama land or if that's really how it works.
We need to research.
I know, but I think it must be because I don't think they just have it in K-dramas.
Well, we need to know someone from Korea to tell us.
Yeah. Well, because you'd think otherwise the people that live in Korea would say, well, that doesn't make sense, right? That wouldn't.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And also that one guy that I follow on Instagram, he says that their health insurance is fabulous. That's why people go to the hospital even when they have a cold coming.
Right.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
you get a cold, you go in there, and whatever they do for you, the IV or whatever, it's like your cold is gone in a day or two.
So maybe, because I know a lot of times they want payment, but maybe that's if you get something or go to like a VIP room or something, maybe that's just the basic.
I don't think it's going to cost you that much, yeah, going to the hospital. And that's why, have you noticed that there's really not a lot of doctor offices or whatever? Usually the doctor is there in the hospital.
Hmm.
I don't really know. I've
I
never been to
know.
Korea.
No.
I just picked it up from
Hopefully
watching
soon.
them
Right.
that
Right.
when they go, they see their doctor at the hospital there.
Right. Right.
Maybe. It is interesting. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but it does bring some questions to mind. How
Right.
do we get our answers? Someone give us answers.
Yes. We can do some research, but we're all a little busy, so I don't know when we'll get to it.
We're too busy working and watching drama.
Yes.
So I think one thing we would all agree on is that we love episode 1,
Yeah.
right? So episode 1's when the blind date happens, and I think it's hilarious the method that Hari uses to sabotage the date. And she's very methodical. She has a plan. One, she's like, no man likes a woman who reveals too much skin. And she takes off her jacket, and it's like she reveals the tiny part of her stomach and her shoulders.
Right.
It's like, really?
Right.
And he says, "You have goosebumps."
Right. Must have been winter, not summer. Our air conditioner was on.
And then she says a woman crazy about luxury goods. So that she's trying to act all crazy, and she kisses her purse. And do you remember? He's not even paying attention. He's texting
Oh, I'm
her.
sorry, I was getting a text from the office.
She names her boobs Samantha and Rachel. And I think he liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, he choked on his coffee.
Yeah.
Surprised and intrigued.
So then she says, there's no way that you'll like a woman who wants to, in her head, she says it's not out loud. There's no way that you'll like a woman who wants to get a room on the first date. So she says, we should get a room. And meanwhile, her body language says, please don't say yes. Please don't say yes. She's like shaking her leg frantically and clearly nervous.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he was totally onto her
Mm-hmm.
and totally knew how to read her body language. And so he knew that she didn't really want to.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he said, yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. And I don't think I even caught on to that the first time I watched it, but it's true. Her body language all along is like, this is not who I really am.
Right.
So,
Right.
um,
And I like the fact that, with all of the shenanigans she pulls, all of the things she does to try to deceive him, that through the whole thing, he never gets upset at her or the things she's doing. And it has to go back to the root that he was really intrigued by her. He really was drawn to her. And none of that stuff ever bothered him. He never was upset with her about that, which totally amazes me.
yeah.
If all men were that way.
And it's true. And it's so opposite of American movies
Right.
and TV shows, because in an American TV show, if you had the scenario that plays out the first few episodes, I mean, it would be like 5-10 episodes of the female lead and the male lead not speaking
Right.
and despising each other and arguing and
Right.
fighting and being bitter. But
Right.
you don't find that at all.
No, not at all.
What do you guys think of episode 2? I really enjoyed it. I mean, I could go through episode by episode and probably tell you, oh, I loved it. But I think episode 2, they really introduced some fun elements into it. Business proposals based on a webtoon, I guess. I haven't.
Which is intriguing.
Yeah, I haven't read any webtoons, but
I don't even know what they are.
They base a lot of their K-dramas on webtoons.
I've noticed that, but I still
yes.
don't know what they are.
And I tend to
No.
always like the ones that are based on webtoons.
Yeah.
So I'd probably love webtoons, but that's time.
Right.
Um,
Do both. One or the other.
I think it's almost like an online comic.
Oh,
Mhm.
interesting.
I think so. Yes. I think you're right.
One more thing we need to figure out.
I know. So they have this little theme throughout the rest of the drama. Hari, when she's trying to convince President King that she's not interested, she says something like, "I don't like anything about you, and you look like an Archaeopteryx." Hopefully, I'm saying
I
that
was gonna say
right.
you're good. I don't even attempt it.
Yes, I don't either.
Archaic dinosaur bird.
Right. That's really cute, actually.
Cute dinosaur bird. So then, whenever he calls her, the rest of the drama, when her phone rings and it's him, they have this little cartoon dinosaur bird fly up and like squawk a little. And it's so funny and so creative. And it's also good because oh, it's him texting. Oh, it's him
Right,
calling.
right.
And I love the little alert. It's just something so, I don't know, cute that they add in. And President King is so offended by being called this dinosaur bird. It's so much easier
Well,
to say than the real name.
even his secretary and best friend, it was spot on.
The chief secretary says it's uncanny resemblance. And it's such a ridiculous statement to make.
The funny part, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's so funny. It's so ridiculous because who really looks like a bird?
Well, I don't know.
It's just so cute. All the moments Hari's trying to keep her identity secret, and she just plays the character so well.
I like episode 3 where they go to the Mellowmance concert. I love the music
Yeah.
in this, and I think Mellowmance has most of the music. The
Oh,
group.
It's probably why we like the music.
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
So they stick with the same band
I think
throughout.
so.
And they're a real band.
I really don't know how much they're a band because in the scene we see them and it's just basically the piano and
Right.
you know,
Right.
the one guy playing the piano and then they each have a microphone.
Mhm.
I
So-
assumed it was a real band or duo or whatever it is, not just made up for the drama.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I think it's
Okay.
real.
Yes.
You do think it's real?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a really good song that they play.
Yes.
I mean, it basically, all I remember is the one song. Is there more?
I think there might be another one too, but I think the other one is by them. I don't know. Love Maybe is the name of the one that
Mm.
they play after. I just love that scene where
Which
they
scene?
go to the concert and the one singer starts talking and says, and he's talking about her because Min Woo has arranged it.
Minwoo is the chef that she
Yeah.
had a crush on,
Yes,
right? Her friend.
yes, and he arranged or
He bought
He bought-
tickets for her
yes,
birthday.
he did.
And he
That's
bought
right.
2 tickets and told her that she needed to not go with her best friend, but she needed to find a
Oh,
guy to go
yes,
with.
yes. But anyway, so he gave them some kind of information about her. And so that's what this guy, the lead singer, was talking about and asks if she's there, what her, and he notices that she's with
A
a
guy.
guy, and then he sings Love Maybe.
Oh. It's almost like I feel like her closure scene
Right.
because she's
Right.
realizing it's never going to happen with, and I forget his name, the chef. It's her old best friend who's a chef. I don't know, but
Right.
she realizes I've had this long crush. She's like this guy. How long? 5 years, 7 years, a ridiculous amount of time. It's a one-sided love, and it's kind of her moment of closure, realizing it's never going to happen.
But I don't know that I would say it's a one-sided love. Because later on,
Yes.
we find out that the
Yes.
only reason he didn't pursue her is because he didn't think she was in the right status as her.
Right.
As
him.
He's pompous and arrogant and
Exactly.
Yes.
jealous. I
Yes.
can't
Mhm.
stand him. Anyway,
Yes.
we can
I
talk
don't
more
like him
about
either.
that in our
Yes.
next
I know.
episode.
Yes.
But yeah, he is
Right.
ugh, I also love episode 5 when President King finds out who Hari really is.
Isn't this your favorite episode?
No,
No?
almost.
Okay.
But
All
it's
right.
pretty, it's up there. It's up there. But he is stunned. And also, I feel like fairly happy. I don't know.
Right.
He's upset. He goes back to his office and he looks up her employee profile and he says, "How dare she fool me? She's been right under my nose this
Right.
whole time." Something like that.
Right.
But he's also really admired her as an employee.
Right.
He thinks she's a hard worker and smart and comes up with great business ideas.
Yeah.
And so he's always really been attracted to her as an employee, kind of.
Right.
This is the model employee. And
Right.
so even though she acted awkward and
Right.
like a
Mhm.
nutcase,
Mhm.
Trying to figure out who she is.
and I mean, really, at that point, he just wants her to confess the truth. I just want her to tell me the truth.
Right. Right.
And he forces her to remake the kimchi ravioli as punishment, and she remakes it about 8 times, and he will not even taste it, and he'll walk by and say, again.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so furious.
I know, I
But
know.
how much time she spends having to remake that. I mean, I don't know time like in reality how much time that was, but it was
Mhm.
days or weeks. I don't know. It was a long
Yes.
time.
It kind of gave me vibes. Remember My Secret Romance? I don't know if you remember
Yes.
that drama, but it kind of reminds me of that drama where she tries to make him all these meals all the time and sometimes he won't even taste it. That's what it reminded me of, My Secret Romance. Plug for that. I
I
really
need to
like
watch that one
drama.
again. I don't remember it. But I think
It's
it was the
funny.
second one I watched. So I just think it's interesting how much the chairman is pushing for him to get married, the president,
Mhm.
because the chairman wants grandkids.
Great
And
grandkids.
great grandkids, yes. But I find it interesting. So if the two people, President King and Hari or whoever he marries, if it's an arranged marriage, who's to say that they will ever consummate the marriage if they don't even like each other? And who's to say that they'll ever have grandkids, whether they don't like each other or maybe they can't have grandkids? But it seems to be a reoccurring,
I think they basically,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter if you like them or not.
right.
Mm-mm.
I think once you have, grandkids out there, then you can maybe go your separate ways. But yes,
It's like a requirement,
you have some children first.
It's
whether
your,
you want to or not. It's your duty.
Yes.
it's your duty.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. I don't like you, but I have to.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a tough life.
That is a tough life. That is a tough life.
Maybe not that tough if it's President.
Or a few of the others.
Thank you again for joining the Kdrama Divas podcast. Please drop us a comment and let us know what you thought of Business Proposal the first time you watched it. We would love to hear from you, and we'll catch you next time to discuss the second half of Business Proposal.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Kdrama Divas podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. Before we part ways, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on social media at Kdrama Divas to stay up to date on recent podcasts and to share your thoughts and recommendations.